So I don't know about you guys, but I'm absolutely ready for 2019 to be. I cannot take it anymore. Aside from all of the personal stuff and all of the channel stuff I've gone through this year, which, by the way, thank you guys so much for sticking in there with me. Like, every single last one of you guys, I would not be doing this without you. But this year has been tough, man. Specifically in gaming, we have had some great, amazing games. No cap, honestly. But we've also had some of the biggest flops that I've ever seen in my entire life. So, hopefully, next year we actually get some GOATs coming. That would be really, 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 really lovely. I personally would appreciate that so much if we could really start working on some greatest of all time content. But with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about the title of today's video. Some of the best upcoming games of 2020. Now, this is just my personal list. If you disagree with this list, great. I'm glad you do. Let me know what sauce you got, or what sauce you're putting some money down for in 2020 down in the comments. I would love to hear it. And also, while you're down there, make sure to click like on today's video if you enjoy it. So, the first game on our list should be, of course, no surprise. I asked you guys on Twitter, what are the games that you're excited for? And if you guys don't follow me on Twitter, maybe you definitely should, so you can participate in some of these conversations. Cyberpunk 2077 and The Last of Us 2. Without a doubt, these are the two hypest games of next year. No, like, it's not even comparable. Maybe Final Fantasy VII, but like, we'll get to that when we get to that. And I say these two specifically with such pride because I feel like 2013 was a year when we really got some of the last bit of good gaming out, and then 2014 had some major flops. 2015, oh my god, 2016, bro, games are getting horrible. 2013 was the year that we got Grand Theft Auto 5, we got BioShock, we got The Last of Us. Like, some of these games were like just before the PlayStation 4 came out, and I would have to say, like, this was like the pinnacle, the precipice of gaming, the very tip, the upper echelon of actual gaming, okay? So, and then of course we've had some bangers every couple of years after that, but still, there's nothing like The Last of Us. Now, I say this because The Last of Us is one of the very first games that has ever made me cry. And like, there's a lot of stuff that like gets me kind of teary-eyed where I'm just like, but I ain't no bitch, no. And like, I'm good. No moisture whatsoever. But The Last of Us, within the first 10 minutes, the game just has you just bawling out. And it's like such a key thing that I don't want to talk about it here. Like, not that it's a spoiler, because the game's been out forever, but also at the same time, it's such a dope moment that if you're somebody who has not experienced it, I don't want to ruin that for you. Like, go play The Last of Us. I'm telling you, it's the greatest game of all time. And it's not riddled with microtransactions like some of these other games that come out. So, and I really hope that's a trend that we leave in 2019 and before. Going into 2020, I would love to actually have games of not only great quality, but don't try to like shank me for my money, like little like dollars and pennies out of my pocket. Like, it's just so interesting to me that we're at a point with gaming and just entertainment in general where we praise things for doing the most basic of things. Like, I don't know, working on launch day. Why is that? How is that a feature? Like, isn't this supposed to work? I paid $60 for this. So I think our kind of threshold of allowing like all of this just overall crap just to enter the hemisphere of great gaming is just like, I really think we should change our standards and move the bar a little bit further. And I think The Last of Us is one of those games that has done that for me. And of course, the greatest game of the decade, how could I forget The Witcher 3? Oh my god, there's just so much that I could talk about The Witcher for hours. I could make dedicated videos just to small portions of The Witcher. It is so good. Matter of fact, I saw an article that The Witcher sales are up like 322% because of the launch of the Switch version and the Netflix series. Like, This is astronomical that a game that is 5 years old would just spontaneously get way more sales than it's ever had in its lifespan at this one particular moment. The next game on the list is Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Now, I understand that anime Twitter is getting their panties in a bunch about this game. Yes, the game looks fantastic, but also, I need you guys to go in with a healthy amount of skepticism because all of the Dragon Ball games, all of the anime games look like this. Games get prettier over time, guys. That's just what they do. I understand the game looks amazing and okay, great, I get it, but the game is also really being sold on its filler content that we've already seen the main portions in between that. And I don't mean filler content like 41% of Naruto filler. I mean, we're talking like the moments in between Majin Vegeta beating Goku and then going to fight Majin Buu. And then Vegeta decides to dick around in between these 2 points here. Like, that's the type of stuff that's being celebrated right now, and I get it. It's a new thing that's being introduced into the Dragon Ball game universe. I get it. I understand being excited about it, but guys, please just hold off your titty level of excitement. Just slow down. Turn the volume down a little bit. Remember that we have had multiple years of games that look great but play bad, and I assure you, this game may or may not be something different. We may see, and I may eat these words later, and I'm not saying the game is bad, I'm saying that we should be skeptical of it. We should not immediately throw our money at this game just because it's a Dragon Ball Z game. But it's the anime community, and they do that for all anime games, except for Bleach games. But that's a different story for a different day. So next on the list, we just don't even, I don't know why I didn't put this at the top with the other two, but Final Fantasy VII Remake. Now, this was one of my very first games when I was coming up. My dad bought 3 games for me and my brothers on our first PlayStation. The 3 games were Crash Bandicoot, Fighting Force, and motherfucking Final Fantasy VIII. Now, I say 8 because I remember playing Final Fantasy VII, but I also don't remember being of the proper age of comprehension to remember playing all of it, so, you know, I don't really count it, but I distinctly remember all 4 discs of Final Fantasy VIII. So, and I remember playing through a bunch of that game and just playing Squall and just trying to understand how Ultimacia was pixelated, yet at the same time, my little boy brain and my little boy body were not on the same page at the first time, and I was like, ooh, it's hot in here. So, but that's just the experience that I had. So I'm so looking forward to Final Fantasy VII, and there's a lot of portions of it that I really hope is going to be great. And Square Enix, with the way that they've been developing games lately, is just a little not for me. And you guys are gonna notice a lot of the stuff on this list I'm skeptical of course. You have to be when you're an adult and you're spending your hard-earned money on a game that does not perform, a game that's not great, or a game that just doesn't work. Now, do I think this is going to be some amazing over-the-top thing that I've never played before? No, that was Death Stranding, which, Jesus Christ, oh my, that game. We could get into that later, but this is also going to be a fragmented game from what Square Enix has talked about, is the fact that there's going to be a part 1 and then a part 2. It's going to be broken up into episodes. So I'm going to hold my judgment for when the game comes out. I probably will not buy it the first week it comes out, just because I want things to kind of hit the fan a little bit and understand the kind of like full scope of everything. And plus, I also want to see some Crisis Core content, because aside from The Last of Us, Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core is probably the first game, I think it was the first game I've ever played and actually shed a tear on. Like, I was legitimately crying. And now, even though, yes, this game is super old, I don't want to reveal the part that makes me cry, because it is one of those things where if you've never experienced Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core, you kind of need to. It's one of those things where you're just like, I would have looked at the world so differently had I played this sooner. You know, I just genuinely like put this game on a pedestal, and it's really, really great for the narrative. Gameplay wise, it is horrible. It is awful. It is one of the worst games that I've ever played, but it's still pretty fun. Just the roulette system and the half action, half turn based kind of combat, it was just super weird. And this was before Final Fantasy 13 kind of did the same thing, and it was like, Jesus, why? How did we get here? But next on the list of quality content, and we're talking some of the like, the very best of gaming. Next to Disgaea, I don't think I have another JRPG series that I love this much, and it's Persona 5. Now, given I say this, and a lot of you guys who watch my streams and follow me on Twitter know I have plenty of complaints about Persona 5, let alone Persona 5 Royale, however people are pronouncing it, whatever is the correct way. Usually the word Royale has an E in it, but this is Royal, so it's a little weird. But I really hope they put it on PC. That's the first thing. And second, I understand the game is great. I personally love Persona 4 and Persona 3, but Persona 5 just wasn't hitting for me, bro. It just kind of wasn't. And as a bunch of you guys know who watch me on stream, I played the first 12 and a half hours of the game and was falling asleep all of the time. I just could not get attached to anything at the beginning until, I don't know, maybe like the third dungeon. But even then, it was like time to drop the game. I had given it enough time. It was not something that I wanted to keep committing to. But if they decide to put it on PC, I absolutely will give it another try. So I'm very, very excited for it. I know it's coming to Switch, which there aren't going to be a whole lot of Switch games on this list at all. And I know I'm saying that in the middle of this video, but it's because I don't own a Switch, and I personally don't really care to purchase a Switch. Only because my life does not currently cater towards Switch gaming. Or any type of mobile gaming, really. Except for Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. And I'm just, man. Whew. We gonna talk about that one day. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that coming out. Hopefully they launch it on PC. If not, I'll probably watch one of my friends stream it or something like that. And then next on the list are a bunch of the games that are supposed to come out in 2020 but don't necessarily have a release date yet, which is why I saved them for the second half of this video. I'm sure you guys understand, but you know, it's just kind of one of those things where you can't really be too excited for a game that's not coming out for a while, and which leads me to another thing I want to complain about. Can we leave this in 2019 and before, where we announce games 4 to 5 years before they're like even close to being shown gameplay? Like, I'm so concerned about this. And literally a bunch of the games that I'm about to announce are kind of like that. So the first on that list is Ghost of Tsushima. Now, I understand that this game looks beautiful, and of course it's made by the amazing people over at Sucker Punch, who are responsible for the Infamous series and Sly Cooper. So listen, if there was any type of setup that you could bring together and just like say, hey, these really popular people are making this really good game that we really haven't seen much about, are you sold on it? Just give it to me now. So I'm hyped for it, but also this falls under the category of the game was announced, in 2018 E3? We're probably not going to get it till 2021. Just saying. It's definitely not coming out this year, but in the event it does, I want to at least put it in my 2020 video just to say that I was right about it. So I'm really looking forward to it. From the screenshots I've seen and from the little piece of cinematic whatever that we got from E3, it's like, okay, I'm kind of hyped for it. It looks good. So outside of that, you can't really say anything else about it, which is the problem with the whole announce 5 years early type of thing. So I can't make a proper critique or even say that I'm properly excited for the game. So, which leads me to the next game, which I'm definitely excited for. Like, oh my god, so much. And it's Elden Ring. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with Elden Ring, let me paint you a picture. George R.R. Martin, the guy who created Game of Thrones. Not that last season, though. We don't talk about that. But George R.R. Martin and Dark Souls. Now, when you put these two things together, you think, god damn, that's about to be a hell of a game. But I have no idea, because this is another one of those games where they showed 30 seconds of a cinematic and then where they were just like, the game's coming eventually. That should not be a standard. I really, really wish we would not do that. Only because I get it. You want to get people hyped for your game long before it comes out. But if your game is not coming out until 2021, I shouldn't be hearing about it in 2018, 2019. I should be hearing about it in 2020 or 2021 as the game is building up momentum. Because much like another game on our list, which is actually the next game, Watch Dogs Legion. And as much as I love my guys over at Ubisoft that continue to make banger after banger after flop, I will 100% undoubtedly support Ubisoft and all of their endeavors until they just burn me way too bad, like they did with that last Ghost Recon game. But that's a different video for a different day. I'm excited for Watch Dogs Legion. It was one of the things where we got to see gameplay, we got to see concepts of it. I love the idea of it, but also the delays and the fact that there's no confirmed date for it. I'm assuming it's going to be in November of 2020. If I had to guess, Ubisoft loves to drop games in October, November, and September. So, you know, we might see something, but I want to see if this is going to overlap with their Assassin's Creed schedule, which gets into a whole Ubisoft video that we can make. Man, I'm just externally making all this extra content today, which is a whole different video that we can make that's just on that. So hopefully the game is going to be finished when it actually does come out, which is another concern that we're going to have going into 2020. Are games going to be finished when they launch, or are you just going to charge me $2.99 for the official ending of the game? So that'd be great. Also, next on the list, which I am absolutely over the moon excited about, Dying Light 2. Now, Dying Light, if you guys have not played, you need to play Mirror's Edge. So if you take Mirror's Edge and you take Left 4 Dead and you make them the same game and then have the people who made Dead Island make that game, you have such an amazing experience. Honestly, outside of The Last of Us, this is probably the greatest zombie game of all time that I've ever played. The first Dying Light, the different customizations that you could have, the narrative was pretty good, but the parkour just made it so fun to just run around and just do dumb shit all the time. Like, it was just amazing. I personally love it. I think it's the best zombies game of all time. We're talking Left 4 Dead, all these other games. I don't give a damn. It doesn't matter. This is the game. I promise you, please go give it a try. I'm looking forward to it when it drops in 2020. If it drops in 2020. So, next on the list, I'm excited about this, but also kind of not really. Beyond Good and Evil 2. Now, another Ubisoft game, and once again, I support these guys until they just do me wrong. I never got a chance to play the original Beyond Good and Evil. It's available on Uplay Plus or whatever, so I've gotten a chance to download it and start the menu, but the game is just so god-awfully ugly that I was just like, I can't do this. This is like going back and playing the original Mass Effect trilogy. I can play Mass Effect 3, even though it's not a great, experience for Mass Effect, and it's not pretty, but damn, is playing Mass Effect 1 so much harder to do now that the game is just dated as hell. So I'm very excited for this game, only because I have no idea what's going to go on with it at all, but the concept of the game seems really, really good. I'm looking forward to that and just exploring the whole universe that Ubisoft is going to. And see, this is another thing. I can't properly describe the game because I've never played the first one, so I have to go back and play the first one and then make a whole nother video about that. But I can't describe the game and a talking monkey and a raccoon and a pig and an ape and all this other stuff and their crime bosses and all this stuff. I can't explain this stuff very well without sounding like I'm rambling. But that's essentially what we're getting into because there's no gameplay. So, okay, this is interesting. And then for the last few things on our list, we're just going to bundle these two together because I feel like they relate really well. The first thing is Death Stranding. It's coming to PC, which, I was a little reluctant to put replay and re-announcement games and stuff like that on this list. But considering kind of how dry a bunch of the 2020 announcements are, yeah, this is just something that I'm personally looking forward to. The mods are about to go crazy, boys. Oh my god. I cannot wait to play UPS Simulator on the Master Race. I absolutely can't. And then the other game that we're going to finish up this list with, and I was really did not want to put this game on the list, but I feel like I needed to acknowledge it, and that's Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind DLC, which comes in January. I'm not particularly hyped for it, but the only reason why I put it on here is because it's coming to Xbox One, which I think is cool, but also they're bundling the Remind with the original. So I think that's going to be great, just as long as they don't make it more than $50, because paying $60 for a $30 game at this point with a $10 DLC patch on it, where they finally finish the ending of the game, not a fan of, absolutely not a fan. I know there was a lot of issues with Kingdom Hearts 3. I personally did not like it. A bunch of my friends did not like it. I have one friend who is just going to defend this thing till the day that he dies, even though objectively, I think he's just looking at it with just, you know, fanboy goggles on, but whatever. I'm glad he likes the game. Just do you, bro. But the game is trash. So, and the only reason why I'm putting it on the list in the first place is because I'm excited to try the full experience of Kingdom Hearts 3. Once I buy the whole collection and replay through all of the games again for the third time, I feel like I'll have a different appreciation for it. I did love the game so much, between the first game, the second game, the 3 other attachments games onto that, and then the 2 spin-off games after that. There's just a lot of it kind of dwindles over time. And then when Kingdom Hearts 3 dropped and it was disappointing, it was like, okay, I'm gonna use the last little bit of my energy for this last DLC. Don't screw it up. But Square Enix has just not been doing great, aside from Tomb Raider. So even that last Tomb Raider was kind of like, no, we're just gonna leave this one alone. But, you know, with Final Fantasy 15 and all these other things that they have coming out with Kingdom Hearts 3, I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll have to see when it drops. But let me know what you guys are looking forward to down in the comment section. If I missed anything, if there's a game that you're particularly excited about that you think I should know about, let me know down in the comment section below. Like today's video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Guys, I just want to also say Happy New Year. Thank you guys so much once again for sticking with me this entire year. I know it's been really tough because I only put out like 4 videos this year entirely. Which maybe it's like 5. But thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. Especially all the people who decided to be sponsors or donate or any of that stuff, like, or get a membership. Thank you guys so much. And all I want to say is, going into 2020, I really want to hit the pavement running. I really want to try and hit this 10K. I really want to try and hit this 50K. I think we have the potential to do it. I also want to say, as long as you guys keep supporting me over and over again, and I've had many conversations with you guys on Instagram and Twitter about this, I'm going to continue to put in all the effort that I can if you guys continue to just back me up on that, and like round of applause every now and then, whatever the fuck it is. Like, as long as you guys don't give up on me, I won't give up on making. So, and with that said, this has been your man JustJaySama. I will see you guys next year. Be sure to keep it can.